I think 200 is pretty amazing. We have an extremely strong group of guys in the 200. Probably the greatest 200 group that we've had in the United States collectively. Everybody runs 19.6, 19.7, and that was without Noah.
And that was without Noah. Like, yeah, like you said, I think that's the best event for the U.S. For the men's side, I think that was the best event from 1 through 8. I mean, because we had Fred Curley, who I was actually kind of shocked that he got 4th place. He got 4th. We're talking about Fred Curley. Who is like a 9.7 100-meter runner and a 43-second 400-meter runner. For him to get 4th in the 200, I was definitely shocked about that. That just goes to show the depth that we have in the 200. So
yeah.
All right. Welcome to the Trackfellaz podcast, where we talk track and field everything. I am your host, Herb Nichols, along with Adam Casey, Daryl Young, and Jason Carson Harris. Today, we are going to talk about
both last names.
The United States. USA Track and Field Championships that happened a couple weeks ago. That is the track meet right before the World Selections. And we have a lot to talk about today.
Held in Eugene, Oregon.
Absolutely. So the first question that we're going to have today is, which athletes at the championships surprised you the most? Was there any surprising performances? Did anybody outperform your expectations? Or whatever, you guys want to take that question and formulate it into your own.
Who you think though, Herb?
You know what? Vernon Norwood in the 400-meter dash. That was his first USA team in an individual event. And he's been running since, for the past 7-8 years. I think that was kind of surprising on that being his first individual selection, him being 30 years old or so.
Yeah.
We had 44.
Yeah.
39.
Seemed like he's been running forever.
So for me, I would have to say Vernon Norwood.
Yeah, that's that I wouldn't have expected that answer. I'm gonna flip the question and answer it differently. I'm more surprised about the individual that was not there, Donovan Brazier. Like, what happened to him this season? Like, we saw him last time he ran, or on a big stage. What was it, like a Nationals? Last Nationals?
It's been a minute.
Yep.
Yeah, last Nationals, and he kind of peed the bed and whatnot.
Pissed the bed.
Yeah.
With that rig.
Yeah. That shocked me. I thought he was on like a comeback kind of mission and whatnot, and didn't see him at all. So I was kind of surprised that he wasn't there.
Yeah,
the men's 800 is always kind of a little sketchy. So I definitely agree with that. In terms of people underperforming, Matthew Boland, I was expecting him to do something, and he's just slowly been underachieving.
But I kind of feel like he's been underachieving this whole entire season, really.
Yeah. I mean, it's time for him to make a move, and he ain't really taking advantage of it.
So at championships, when it came down to that, I was just, him being in the finals, I was like, oh, okay, well, that's a start. But him and his season hasn't been like the best, so I wasn't really surprised at that. But nah, that's definitely a good one.
I think him stepping into the 400 was a little surprise.
That too.
I don't think it was a surprise at all. Because
he can run a 4.
He can run a heck of a 4.
But his signature individual event is the 1 and the 2.
Right.
I mean, sure. He's going to always give you a good split on the 4x4. But I didn't expect him to jump out there on the 400 and try to make the USA team in the 400. But I think of all years, I guess this was the year. I mean, Vernon Norwood made the team respectfully, you know. But there wasn't really no dogs in there, or should I say the norm, as far as
I mean, Michael Norman, I think he had like the automatic bids, and he didn't run, and I think he withdrew from World Championships. But it definitely was good to see Vernon get that championship underneath his belt. I was more so surprised that the entire 100-meter final, I thought it underperformed, I think USA Championships, the 100, I think that's the premier event in track and field. And a third place finish was 10 flat.
10 flat.
Yep.
And I think, Otto Bolden, he did his best to kind of hype the event up. And big shout out to the guy who got first. He kind of really came out of nowhere. But the entire 100-meter final was just, it was weak for me. It was 995.
Yep.
Yeah, 995.
Like what we taking it back like 20 years. You know what I mean? So going into World Championships, I understand that the goal was just to make the team, right? So top 3 make the team, but 995, 996, and 10 flat. I was kind of shocked about that. I've been rooting for Trayvon Bromell for like the longest.
For the longest.
And injuries
True
and stuff
comeback
like
story.
that. So, and I was a little disappointed in that. But got World Championships coming up, and Fred Curley, he'd definitely be there in World Championships. But that whole 100-meter final was terrible to me.
And that's our relay there too. Like that top 4. Well, obviously the top 6 is in the relay pool, but I'm not really feeling that confident in the 4x1 based on the performance at USA Championships.
In terms of the 4x1, I think we have the depth. We just got to get that baton around.
That's the most important piece right there. Canada's showing that they can do it because they have that consistency.
Great
It's the
Britain.
same team.
Yeah,
Great Britain is
too.
might be the favorites. However, I think somebody just dropped out of the relay,
Right.
which is going to make a big difference.
But even if we had the talent and the depth, and I think we do. It's just getting that baton around has been an issue for the team for a while. So
For years.
I think the 200 is pretty amazing. We have an extremely strong group of guys in the 200. Probably, and I really don't want to say this, but probably the greatest 200 group that we've had in the United States collectively. Everybody runs 19.6, 19.7. And that was without Noah.
And that was without Noah. Like, so yeah, that 200 was fire. I think, like you said, I think that's the best event for the U.S.
Yeah.
On the overall or just the men's side?
On for the men's side, I think
Okay.
that was the best event from 1 through 8. Because we had Fred Curley, who I was actually kind of shocked that he got 4th place. He got 4th. We're talking about Fred Curley.
Yeah.
Who is like a 9.7 100-meter runner and a 43-second 400-meter runner. For him to get 4th in the 200,
Yep.
I was definitely shocked about that. That just goes to show the depth that we have in the 200. So
Yeah.
But the young boy, he came through, and then what's his name?
EK. That's what her called.
Knighton.
For those of y'all that know who that is, it's Arian Knighton.
That's
And
my guy.
was he like 18, 19 years old?
Yeah, that's my guy.
Fresh meat, fresh out of
Wow.
No, but and then Kenny B, you can never count him out. Who got 3rd?
Courtney Lindsay.
Courtney
Okay,
Lindsay,
yeah, and that's good for him.
1985.
Yeah, good for him to come out and make the team. So, and then Noah with the automatic bid. So it's gonna be definitely a good run for the U.S. come Worlds.
I think the on the women's side was just as impressive. Gabby running 21.6 is
Yes. And a world lead too.
fire.
Yeah.
Definitely happy for her.
Yeah,
And then low key second place 21.94 was Sha'Carri. So
Yep.
I was shocked that Sha'Carri run. What's her PR in the 200? Is she like a?
She's a 21.94. I think that was
her PR?
I think that was her PR. I think she's 10.71 and 21.94.
Okay.
Yeah.
PR.
Yeah, she showed out. I'm not gonna say it was shocking because her leading up to USA, she was definitely handling her own. But it was definitely good to see her do her thing and make the team in both events. It's gonna be a tough ask for her to make the finals in both at Worlds, but she's showing that she can do it after everything that's happened with her in the last 18 months, acting a fool.
Hey, we are going to get into that, in a few, but
I was shocked at that too.
yeah,
though.
but she definitely performed.
And thanks for bringing that up, her, because Gabby don't get enough attention.
I don't think she's gonna have credit
Like,
At all. She just
ran
ran the top time in the world.
Right, she ran 21.6. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I just feel like that's incredible. You know what I mean? And people really don't understand. Yes, Sha'Carri was in the race and she kind of brings the following and stuff like that. But Gabby went in, and then I think Gabby's been running the 400.
She's been running the 400
right?
too. Yeah.
And she ran under 50 or something
Yeah.
like that. So
Yeah.
Gabby got.
I didn't know she had range like that.
Yeah, she a beast.
Yeah.
Talking about the 400. The 400 was kind of surprising, man.
We all talked about Abby at all?
Yeah, she was in the 200 final, but she gonna end up getting like 4th or 5th or something like that.
Yeah.
I was kind of a little shocked.
Abby
about that.
reminds me of like a Prandini.
A Jenna?
You know,
Yeah, Jeff Brandini.
somebody who's fast. What do we used to call it? Fast for no reason.
Hey, go ahead.
You know, I mean, she's elite.
Like a
you
tweener?
know?
Right.
Yeah, she's elite. But
I mean, y'all used to call them tweeners. Is she on tweener level or?
I mean, it's still a little early. I mean, she did make the finals in the 200, and she did run a good time. But I feel like this season hasn't really been her best, right?
I agree.
I mean, again, this is kind of like an odd year where World Championships and then you have
Back to
Paris
back.
next year.
Yep.
So I don't know how is that impacting the athletes. You know, people withdrawing from track meets and stuff like that. But you know, I was a little shocked at her this whole season actually. So
Yeah, man.
what about that 400? We ain't talk about that 400.
Actually, I was about to say something about
Sid
that.
the kid, she ran that 48. What 7?
48.74.
Yes, and then decided. Well, no, it wasn't a decision, but
Yeah.
she succumbed
Has
to
an
injury
injury.
and not going to participate in Worlds. So disappointed.
Yeah.
I mean, she has to get healthy. You know what I'm saying? Can't hold it against her and whatnot. But I definitely wanted to see her run that flat 400 and go off that record.
Which one? The
Flat 400, 400 meters.
the U.S. American record or that world record?
That
That's
world
probably,
record. That can possibly be
I
taken
don't
down,
think
but
I don't
it looks
think
like it's
that's-
impossible.
The official world record, and I feel a certain kind of way about that. What is it, like 47? Something crazy
I think
by
47.60. I think.
by some person from back in the day. So
Drugs.
Who still doesn't want to admit it.
you know, I feel as though going after that American record, she can get that. That'd be perfect. Science had it for so long.
Is that
so
48.70?
48.70, I believe it is. So yeah, I mean, she
She
definitely
will.
right there, and she hasn't even been running it that long. For real, for real.
No.
She's been doing the hurdles. I mean, I know she had the strength to run the 400, but
Of course.
to focus on it and on one season, and she's already at that point.
Yeah, like what
Man.
was her first race? It was a Diamond League race, and her season opener in the 400 meters.
And she lost.
She lost like
Yeah.
really bad, but
Who
PR.
she lose to? Oh, the was it the Dominicans or like what's it, Palimo or something like that she lost to?
Might have been Palima.
Or you might have to look that up.
Who's that?
When she lost the 400
This is
in
trying to
a
one in
Diamond
Paris?
League. It was a Diamond League race when she lost the 400.
But she still ran a fast time though.
She ran a
She
fast
PR.
time.
Yeah.
She like 49 and change.
Oh yeah,
And
I
she,
do remember
I
that.
think she lost to like one of those Dominican Republic or maybe like Cuba or something like that. Paulina, who's a dog,
Yeah.
For sure.
right?
I'm not a big fan of her withdrawing. I mean, I think it's more than what we know. To have some was it knee pain, she said?
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is, but I think she's probably setting the stage for a huge Olympics next year.
Yeah, she's typically not the type of person to shy away from
Exactly.
competition
Exactly.
or something like that. So I'm going to go with she knows her body more than we do.
Yeah.
So it just sucks because I don't think athletes right now are taking world championships that serious.
Unfortunately. And we trying to make track more popular, right? Well, that's what we here for.
Yeah.
I mean, they're doing what they call in NBA load management.
Yeah, well, not as dramatic,
I know.
you know, but yeah, it's some form of load management, especially when you've been running all season. But I feel like that would affect college kids more than professionals.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Because they don't, you know, professionals pick and choose. You know, colleges, the collegiate athletes, they're running their collegiate track meets, then professionals, then the championships and stuff like that.
But that just leaves the door open for
Bo.
for Britain Wilson.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, so
I didn't think about that.
She was second, 49.7.
She looked good, you know, and she's a 400 meter hurdler too. So now that she getting these 400 flat 400 races at this level, like she might be a problem. So I know we don't have Sid at Worlds, but Britain, man, she nice. She nice. And who else made it? Talitha Diggs. Yeah, so I think she's been there before.
Yep,
What about-
she was there last year.
What about Little?
Shamir.
Yeah.
She
I don't think
Didn't
she.
something happen to her?
I don't think she made it. The team.
she made the 400 hurdles though, right?
Yeah, I think she came in second, didn't she?
Yeah.
She won.
She won that joint.
Yeah, so she
53,
won.
34.
Yeah, so Shamir.
53. Sheesh.
That's good for her. That's her first championship then,
That's
right?
her. I think that's her first national team or
Yeah.
international team. Excuse me.
That's real good for her.
That was a good race too.
yeah.
That was a real good race.
That's crazy because all the hurdle goats have made those times seem like they're
I know, right?
Boys and Girls Cup times now. You know, I mean they're running 50.51.
Not there.
Okay.
Sid is running 50 points.
Bowl is going to run 50 point
Bowl
at some point in time.
Yeah, you're right.
So,
Femke,
but besides them two, I mean, there was a point where Delia Muhammad
who's one of my favorites,
was the fastest out there,
Without question.
right? 52 was like unheard of.
Yep.
And now
she came back around 51, right?
How was that?
Did she had the world record at one point?
Yes, she broke it twice, I think.
Okay, all right.
But then it's like that seemed like it was so far long ago.
Yeah.
And then who
Sid
comes
came-
along?
Yeah.
Sid comes along.
Sid had completely wiped that away.
Yep.
And that's that's unfortunate because Delilla's a little older now, right?
Yeah.
And it would have been great to see Delilah versus Sid, like when Delilah was like in her prime. You know what I mean? Because Delilah was running away from the competition for a while. So
Just how Sid is now.
yeah. So if she would have had Sid when she was maybe a couple years younger,
She
that'd have
got
been
Sid a
perfect.
couple times.
Yeah,
You
she
know,
did.
when Sid was just coming on
Right.
the scene.
Yeah, Sid would just come on the scene and, but if they, it's a little bit longer.
You know who else's name is comes to mind of like surprising athletes? I kind of forgot. Raven Rogers.
Raven Rogers.
Yeah.
She came in second.
Yep.
Like people just forgot all about her. Like she's not.
I mean, you see who her competition is.
Yeah.
Moo is like a international